The pendulum swings from the left back to the right. The best course of action gets swallowed in the fight. So let's join together, speaking truth, not a riddle. Relevant, healing, hope. It's the man in the middle.
Good morning, and we are live this morning. I had to run a couple of pre-recorded or out of the archives shows for a couple of weeks. Been dealing with some health issues, but I'm much better now. All that I'm dealing with this morning is one clogged up ear a little bit after the remnants of pneumonia. But what? Did you say something? But after the remnants of pneumonia have all cleared up in my lungs, I got a clean bill of health from the doctor, and I'm doing much better and feeling really good, and it's so good to be back. I know I stood Skip up some during that time because we do kind of lean on each other during these times, but I
missed a couple of shows.
Yeah,
I recorded one in the office and set it in and played it, and then played an archived one. So
yeah,
but I was out a couple of
and you did some traveling, didn't you?
Yeah, we went to Orlando. We made a stop through Panama City Beach, and then went to a competition in Orlando, and
Miss Sarah did fantastic.
She finished in the top 10%, and those kind of experiences are something that are
absolutely
just good.
And she just did a wonderful job. I got to see some of it that you had posted on Facebook, and it was fantastic. If y'all get a chance, go back and look in some of that in the past, and you can see kind of what we're talking about. She just did great. Well, I'm here this morning with Don Yarbrough, and Don's family go back with me in the early days of Man in the Middle. He's been one of our supporters all the way through, he and his family. And Don, you may not know this, but your mother was one of my first producers. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, absolutely. She gave me a story that just was fantastic for Man in the Middle back years ago when we were doing it. I think 7-8 years ago. There was a story that came out of the roots of the president in Newton County.
Oh, yeah.
And she found out about that. And so I went to Kingston on the hint of that, and met with some folks over there that were related to Barack Obama.
Really?
And so it was really interesting. But your mother turned me on to that,
well,
so she listened to me faithfully. And that's who the producers are of the Man in the Middle. It's you folks out there that listen to us and give us another idea and another show thought and those kind of things. But it's good to see you, Mom. I get to see her usually on Tuesday mornings. I make the rounds where she is now there, and at Highland Court, and visit with her some, and it's always such a joy to visit with her. My dad had a secret crush on your mom. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
But he did. He told me, he said that was the prettiest girl in the country.
Yeah.
And but anyway, Don, we're so glad that you're here and to talk about our fair, because like I say, you and I go back. How long now have you been working with the fair?
Well, I think I've been president going on 10 years.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, though, we were involved in the fair when our kids was growing up, and so we've been doing this a long time,
I know, and to see it blossom, and I know you've had some great help, and we're going to talk about different ones that we can't get to come in here and talk to us because they're too shy.
Right. Nobody will see them. That's what I told them. I said, nobody's going to see them.
Well, except Tommy does set these cameras up in here, so if they know about that, they probably won't. But they do such a wonderful job. And we'll talk about some of those key people that do this, and there's getting to be more and more people involved all the time with the fair, isn't there?
Right. Yeah. Our fair is really growing. Our fair is the biggest thing happening in Searcy County, and I'm proud of that. It's really growing, and we got a lot of good kids, and we got a lot of animals. We got nearly 200 animals, and I think about 70-something kids showing. So it's big.
That is. I remember when I first started going again, when I came back home. When you were kind of coming in as president and things. The big thing was the chicken sale was going pretty good, but a lot of the stalls were empty, there when we started. But
I was talking to Randy Smith last week, and he said, I forget what age he was, but so that'd been 50 or 60 years ago what he was talking about. But he said he was in the fair I think the first year he started, said there were 3 head of cattle, and he had 2 of them.
The Smith farm was represented.
Good. So that's how much we've
Two-thirds of the
grown.
fair was the Smith farm.
So I don't know how many head of cattle we have this year. Do you?
50.
50?
Oh, man,
Let me
that's-
get my smartphone out here.
That's right.
We've had as many as 70.
It is amazing, and Skip, you're a big part of announcing the judging and things in there, and you've been doing that for how long?
About 7 years now.
About 7
Yeah.
years, and it's just fantastic to watch those kids. And I know I've got involved in the school and things, and I get to know a lot of the young people there, and it just means so much more to you when you know them and see them, and to see the support there and the support of their families that come. A lot of them will take off from work to come and spend that week. That'll be part of the mom and dad's vacation, spending that week with their kids.
Absolutely. It's the most important vacation, too.
Exactly. Well, we're going to go to a short break, and we're going to come back with Don and Skip, and I think Tommy's going to join us if we can get him away from Wayne in there. Wayne's got him cornered.
Talk about mentorship.
We're going to talk about. Boy, that's dangerous. We'll be back in a little bit. All right, we're back, and I'm in the studio with Don Yarbrough, who's president of the Searcy County Fair. What is the title? Searcy County Fair Association, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I want to make sure that I get the title right. You got to get those titles right. But Don was telling me he's got a list of the animals and things. So let's talk about those.
Right. Skip was talking there. We had 3. Randy Smith said there's 3 animals and 2 cows was his. Well, we got 50 cows this year,
Yeah,
8
fantastic.
dairy cows. We even got 4 bottle calves, guys.
Well, wonderful.
12 swine, 7 sheep, 15 meat goats, and if you need some goat milk, we got 90 dairy goats there. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of
90?
milking. A lot of milking
Wow,
going
there
on.
will be some milking going on, won't there?
We got 73 exhibitors. That's great.
That's fantastic. That's really coming up. That was an area that we were real concerned about.
Right.
Well, we were never worried about how many animals. We're always worried about how many exhibitors.
Exactly. And it's
That's
beginning to come up.
Yeah, that's
wonderful.
it right there, the exhibitors.
Yeah, right.
That's what it's about, the exhibitors.
Yeah, and it's about those kids and there's some money in this too,
Right.
and that goes into our county. It's not just get together and pull a cow out and run it around a ring.
No.
There's a lot involved in this.
With the premium money we get from the state and our jackpot and our premium sale, the fair puts about $50,000 in Searcy County economy. That's about what it's done the last 2 years. This year may be different or may be more. We're expanding out, getting buyers to come in from out of the county.
Right.
Because people in Searcy County go out of the county and do business.
Exactly.
And those people come in here and they appreciate people from Searcy County going and buying stuff from them.
And I've noticed, in the fair book, and it is out and about. You can get a copy of it. Where can folks get a copy of the fair book?
Extension's got some. And,
Extension's got it.
Got a whole box of them.
Okay, great. And
all over the county.
And they're laying around like in different businesses and
Right.
things. And it's a neon green color. But I noticed, one of the big supporters is Cowboy Dodge,
Cowboy
which
Dodge,
is also, and they're in Clinton, but they are a big supporter of ours here at the radio station. Also, they advertise with us and have done some wonderful things for our school there in Marshall.
Right, and when you're talking about sponsors as well, we don't have a tractor dealership, and so there are tractor dealerships that come in from Harrison, that come in from other places, and give a lot of money to the jackpot. Car dealerships from outside. So, having these outside sponsors is what Searcy County thrives on.
Absolutely, and we need that because
And that's
like
where
you
everybody
say,
goes to buy
we
their
do.
stuff,
We do that. We go to different places, and that doesn't hurt anything to do that as long as it comes back.
Yes.
and they are willing to do that, and so we're so excited about that. The other thing is not just sponsorship, but participation. of not just those showing animals and those exhibitors, but what about the volunteer staff that you guys have built over
We've
the
got
years?
some good volunteers.
I'm telling you.
You know, are there every year.
Yeah.
And you know, we're looking for people to come and help. You know, to make this thing grow, we've got to have volunteers.
Exactly.
We got to have people that want to you know, get out here and help do stuff. You know,
Exactly.
You know, if you're looking for something to do, we've got some spots on the fair board. You know, that we'll be glad to have you come and join and you know, just come and help. That's what we need to make this grow and keep growing. You know?
I used to go when I was in college, and that's been a long time ago, but I was blown away, you know, after leaving here and going to some of the cities and things that I was involved in, to see some of the fairs like in Illinois and places like that on the outskirts of Chicago, and then to see Springfield, of course, was a huge one. That's where I was in college at. But to see this one do what it's done in the last 10 years is just such a blessing to me, because it's the real thing. It's not a Hollywood version of the fair. You know, it's the real thing, and you see these kids and these folks out there working. I know the Canada family does a lot of volunteering and work, and especially is it Miss Pam that's very involved in things, and different ones that work. And if I go to naming names, I'll probably make somebody mad because I
Sabrina,
forget.
you know,
Sabrina, yes,
Yeah, you know, Sabrina does a lot, and
Exactly.
and there's a lot of other people that are coming on, you know, and doing a lot.
Yes,
so
exactly.
But it's important that
And
this
the
keeps going.
grounds themselves, Don, have taken quite a transformation, you know, over this 10-year period of time. I know we had, there's been some construction done there. There's been lots of painting and upkeep and things done. And so there's a lot of projects going on even now.
Even now, you know, and we've got some grants in the work that we hope we get. If we get this grant money, the last grant I've got applied for, we're going to paint the roof. You know, make it look
wonderful,
nice. You know, we've got
wonderful.
some rusty spots on it that you can see from Backbone Mountain. So I'm going to try to cover that up if we get this grant.
That's great. We might want to put Man in the Middle on top of that, where the airplanes
Hey,
can
that
see
wouldn't
it.
hurt.
So
That wouldn't hurt at all.
that's what folks used to do on top of the barns, wasn't it?
Exactly.
They do that. And
You were talking about how much is, of course, we're talking about how much it's grown, and you know, it's not come from any kind of flashy thing, any kind of program
It's
or
not
anything
been a
like
Hollywood
that.
thing.
It has been at the ground level,
Yes.
groups of people, individuals getting together and getting excited about putting this thing on. And each year you just build on it and build on it and build on it.
add
when you
on.
oh yeah, just and there's something new every year. There's new things going on, and when you start it at the ground level like that, it sustains itself.
Yeah, and the social interaction that comes from it, watching that. I like to go out there of a morning, you know, when they start having breakfast of a morning.
6 o'clock, breakfast is ready, guys.
Every morning.
Every morning.
So
And,
come on out.
you know, it won't hurt our local coffee shops if you miss
No,
this week of the fair and come out to the concession stand. Some of these folks don't hardly get to leave, especially the ones with animals. They have to kind of stick around close anyway, don't they, Don?
Right, yeah, they got to take care of those animals. That's part of it, you know. They're supposed to take care of them, not mom, dad. They are.
Right,
you know.
exactly.
So, yeah.
And come by and buy them breakfast. That'd be a good thing to do.
That's right.
Buy them breakfast and spend some time with them and get to know these kids and encourage them and build them up in what they're doing, because it is just a fantastic time.
I'd like to say one thing. I appreciate everybody that supports the fair, takes the ad out in our fair book. That is highly important to the fair that we
Absolutely.
sell ads, because that's what keeps the doors open. You know, the fair's has to pay the light bill and the water bill and the insurance on the buildings, and it's important that we sell ads, and I appreciate everybody.
And I've watched that book grow too over the years.
It's growing good. I'll make sure that thing's full.
I know it, and it's growing well, and it's growing good, and it's good to see people that are supporting it. One of my my favorite times is way you kick things off to me is with the tractor driving contest.
Right, Marion County Equipment's going to sponsor that, from over in Payette. So they're sponsoring that. They're going to bring some tractors and for people to look at. Cowboy Dodge is going to bring a couple of trucks and set out they're supposed to. And
good, excellent.
And hopefully we got 2 or 3 different brands of tractors, lawnmowers, side by sides. So I hope we got a lot of stuff. And the Secretary of Agriculture. From the state, Wes Ward, he's supposed to be there one day.
Wonderful. Good.
Becca Caldwell from Rural Service.
He will be impressed, is all I can tell. He will. He will.
It's... we do an audit every year for the money we get, and the guy last year said that there was 3 county fairs that wasn't going to exist no more. They was going out of business. So, that's a way of life, the county fair. So we don't want that to happen.
No, and it's fantastic. So let's go over the schedule just a little bit. Now we've already taken care of some of the things that have been in August. So let's look ahead here to like Saturday, August the 24th. At 3 p.m. One of the things that's going on is a horse show from the Flint Rock Saddle Club and Arena, and they're getting things ready is what's going on with all that. And then on Wednesday, August the 28th is a cleanup day, and that is very important to get all the stalls ready and what is involved in all that, Don?
Well, it's the kids coming and cleaning their stalls and just getting ready, and putting their shavings in or whatever they want to do there, just when they bring the animals, it's ready, when they come in.
Do they have someone that donates those shavings? Where do they come from, or do they bring their own, or how does that come about?
Well, we're getting some sawdust from one of the local sawmills.
Excellent.
The county judge has been great about helping whatever we've needed, and he's hauling the sawdust in on the dump trucks for us.
Good.
And I don't know where we'll get it at this year. We've usually been getting it off Nathan Treadwell. And then if they want shavings, then they usually buy their own.
They bring those themselves. Yeah, exactly.
So if you know somebody that has a sawmill, kind of encourage them to donate some of their shavings to help these young folks out.
Exactly.
I'm going to plug for these kids.
Absolutely.
That's what I do.
We're going to fight for them, aren't we,
You better
Tommy?
believe it.
Yeah, you bet. And for the cleanup day and to get everything ready. And then Tuesday, September the 3rd, is that really our kickoff?
That's it. That's the kickoff.
Tuesday, September the 3rd.
You still got time, Rick, to can some green beans and put in,
Preserve.
That's right. We need that stuff.
Well, let's bring that up, and I'm going to put a finger there on Tuesday, September the 3rd. Let's bring that up about something that they'll see at the fair that wasn't there last year, something that's being done there now with the Share Care Kitchen that's coming about, some of the construction and some of the things, and where are we at with all that? How's it going?
I love the way they looked at each other.
Yeah, they looked at each other like, Rick, we've had a snafu. It's the way they looked at each other there.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he wants to talk about it or if he wants me to talk about it.
Skip, me and Skip has worked on this thing for 8 years.
I know, yeah.
We've been working on it, so who wants to talk about it first? The only thing I'm going to tell you folks is come out and look at our kettle. We got a 40-gallon kettle there that we can cook beans in.
That's what I mean. They can see that it's on its way. It's not ready yet.
Can we boil crawfish in that 40?
Yeah. Sure, why not?
This is a neat thing. You have to come and look at it.
That's
5 years ago, Don came to me and he said, I have a dream. I have a dream that all Searcy Countyans will be able to create. No, he wanted to put in a commercial kitchen, and we it seems like we beat this to death, but there's still some people that haven't heard about it.
And this is the opportunity to see some of it start coming together.
Yeah.
And you're going to be in the ground roots of of seeing the visual, where you guys have seen the board.
Well,
and I know you've worked so hard to get this to this point.
And I'm not going to take very long on it, but if you've been to the fair the last few years, when you come into the EH building this year, you're going to go,
yeah, what happened?
Oh my Lord!
That's right.
The kitchen is at least double its size. It's got stainless steel equipment all the way through it. Brand new sink, a hand washing sink. You don't even have to touch anything. You just bump it. They've got a brand new stove, a 30 or 40 gallon kettle that is run on propane. Going to have a produce sink. We've got a drain in the floor. I mean, it is a manufacturing facility for whatever product you want to make and ship it out retail. And it is sitting there now. It's in the stages of being hooked up and ready to go. And we're starting classes in October. We're hiring the manager that's going to manage this facility, and going to be training the folks who are going to be creating that retail product. Yeah. It's going to happen right there in the fairgrounds.
I saw that come across. I think was it on your side, on the extension side, for the job that was coming up to manage that.
And if you've got any interest in that, visit. Just go on Facebook, type in UAEX Searcy County. You'll come across my ag page. You'll be able to find that job listing.
And that's
it's $12 to $15, depending on your experience.
Right.
Now you have to be detail oriented and you have to be personable. Yeah. And your resume will get you an interview, but your interview is going to have to be knocked down, drag out good, because this is going to be a public facility, and we want to be able to. And Don understands, or has said this as well. We want to be able to serve anybody that comes in there. It has got to succeed. It's a public facility.
No matter where they're from. They don't have to be from Searcy County.
And that's the wonderful thing.
They could be from Little Rock. Anywhere.
Maybe New Orleans.
Yeah, right.
They could be.
They could be.
Yeah, he's already wanting to boil crawfish in that kettle.
Yeah.
He has never met a kettle he didn't love.
Especially if it's propane operated. We can get that thing rolling.
Well, when people are like, what do you need a kettle for? You have a pot and that has a single source of a flame, and you don't get that even cooking. This kettle is going to be even.
That's what it's
evenly
made for.
cooked. That's what it's made for. And you never have to take it off a stove or handle it. It pivots.
Oh man!
And you dump your product out and you clean it. And Don and them put in a floor drain right below it, so it'd be cleaned out and go right. And it's guys.
Every Cajun.
You need to be proud of this guy right here.
That's right.
Every Cajun in this listening area's ears are just going up. You just spoke the magic language.
If we could preserve Tommy's roux for his gumbo. Friend.
My mama did well. That's all I can say.
She did.
There are 3 of these kitchens in the state, and the other 2 are, kind of equally
Now
distant.
think about that just a minute. 3 million people in our state. We have 3 of these kitchens.
Yeah.
And one of them is available
And
here.
Searcy County's was ahead of the curve on construction above all of them.
How about that?
Aren't we always?
There he is right there, Don
Thank you,
Yarbrough.
Don Yarbrough. We'll be back. We're going to talk about some more. We're not going to overdo it on the kitchen, but we're going to talk about the kitchen because we are excited.
Don has left the building.
No, he's still here. All right, we're back, and we're talking about the fair and all things good going on in Searcy County. Don, we mentioned the volunteers, and we mentioned the getting things ready and all of that. Is there something that you need help in? Is there some area in particular that you could use some help in?
Well, I don't know for sure. I mean,
I know you guys are ready, and
we're ready.
planned,
I think but come by and see.
Just
You never
come by
know.
and see, and you all will be working there on and off throughout time, not just on the schedule that's in the fair book. You guys, there's usually somebody there, especially this time of year, doing things around on the grounds and things.
Right. Somebody's around there doing something. I mean, the fair's one week out of the year, but the fair business goes on every month.
Oh, every month, and that's the thing, and the preparation that's involved in that. It doesn't just happen. So let's talk about Wednesday. I think we got to Wednesday, September the 4th, is when we set up the commercial booths, and Judging of Family Consumer Science building begins. Now the building's closed during that time for obvious reasons, to where judging can take place. Right. Yeah, and then the livestock exhibits are in place by 4:00. Then on Wednesday. Is that right?
Yes, that's what.
And that's according to the schedule that we're reading here.
I guess they come in 4 to 6, don't they?
Right, 4 to 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get it in place from 4 to 6.
Right,
okay?
right, and that's pretty. It's a pretty good chore.
Yeah.
When you're talking about nearly 200
cows,
animals,
Yeah.
50 cows, and
trying to get in place.
right. And herding chickens is tough.
That's like trying to organize us.
I have to herd cats in here.
Since y'all mentioned poultry, I do want to say something real quick to any listener that's not heard about it yet. With the number of chickens that have been tested and found positive on different things and destroyed, they are holding back on Pullurum antigen, which is the thing they use to test chickens.
Right.
So when you bring your chickens in on paper day, they test them to make sure they're Pullurum free. Well, we don't have that antigen, therefore they can't be tested. And so if you bring your chickens to the fair and you can't prove they're from a Pullurum free flock, you may get turned back.
I got you.
And
Just one of the things that have happened this year.
That's a safety thing, though.
Yeah, and if they've been exposed to chickens that can't be proven that they were from a Pullurum free flock, then you may get turned back, and it's not a fault of the fair. Don't believe it's a fault of the fair. We'll try to explain that.
It is a situation that we have that we just got to deal
Statewide,
with.
nationwide, actually.
You know, they will be state livestock and poultry people there for this. You know,
Right.
Well,
so
we
it's
have to
states,
protect our farms.
Right.
We have
Yep.
to protect
Right.
our crop
Yeah.
out here, and that's part of it. And so I'm so glad that they're ahead of the game.
You bet.
On that, we have a problem. So let's
We
solve it.
encourage everybody to practice biosecurity. You know, keep your feet clean, and when you come out of your barn and come up there, let's wear clean clothes, and that way we don't spread anything. So
Exactly, and sometimes that can turn into quite an event.
It is.
Especially when they see Coach Rick come up with his boots on, and they love to catch him with a water hose and douse him from the top of his head to
there you go.
to the soles of his feet. One kid one year screamed out "biohazard," you know, as I come through the door. And I didn't feel too bad because he was washing a hog at the time. So I thought it was in good
when you're
company.
hazardous to a hog, it's pretty
I
bad.
thought I was in pretty good company there. But Thursday, September the 5th, then that's when the time that I like. That's when the concessions open up on Thursday. And that's when we can have breakfast, can't we?
Right.
And that's
come by and, and join us, and eat. It's not bad eating. I
no, it's
eat it.
good eating. I enjoy it. I enjoy it every year. And
Chocolate gravy.
Yeah,
Biscuits,
chocolate
gravy,
gravy in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Not a Louisiana thing,
How
but
can you eat, pudding on biscuits? What could be better?
Where are you from, man? Louisiana?
he's communist.
I've tried to tell him what a friend of mine told Bert Jones when he moved into the area, and Bert was wanting to put a water line in. He's wanting to put it in 6 inches deep. And my friend told him, said, "Bert, I'm just going to tell you, this ain't Louisiana," is what he said.
Louisiana.
But anyway, and the fair is such a wonderful time for this interaction and storytelling that goes on around those tables, because there are some characters that come in there. So Thursday that begins, and then the shows all begin. The fairgrounds open up to the public at 8:00 in the morning on Thursday, September the 5th, and I'll be announcing this all throughout this next week or so, building up to the fair on my show also. And then the swine show, the 4-H poultry show, the cattle show. You all want to be a part of some of this if you got the time, and some of you may want to take off for lunch when you're working around and come by and see some of that's going on, because you can take something in 30 minutes or so and grab you a hamburger and watch some of the show that's going on.
But there's a lot going on to put this show on for these kids.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're getting with the program.
Exactly, and I've watched Skip there. It's really interesting to watch them as they line up down that ramp or up the ramp coming in, and Skip has done it so long that he's got a pretty good system going there, and it works really well, doesn't it?
Well, it's a good deal, and I tell you what, we're talking about new new things on the fairgrounds. Don got a grant or got some money to build sheds on the end of the show barn.
Yeah.
The show barn used to be open and the sun shone halfway through, and some of these Septembers.
I think they did that for you.
Yeah, I think they did.
Because it was on your table.
The show arena, the table was inside the arena, and we had donations from Terry Woods for the concrete and Derrickson Lumber for the wood. Daniel Cook built the stands. We have got a nice speaker stand, and Don built the sheds over the side, and these hot Septembers in Marshall,
makes it comfortable.
It makes it easier on those animals.
You guys had some pretty good fans blowing out there, I know, last year, and keeping the air moving, and it really helped.
I don't know what the forecast is, but it could get brutal sometimes.
Oh, it does, yeah, sometimes. Hopefully it'll break by then. Right now, it doesn't look too good through August, but hopefully 1st September, we'll just be praying that
we've had a good year so far.
Yes, we have. We really have. We really have. So, and then Friday's the big day. That's when the schools let out.
There you go.
Right. And bring the little ones there, and the young people that may not be participating in the animal end of it or in the exhibits end, because a lot of young people participate in the exhibits also, the art and the photography, and just to name a few. But Friday I always get there pretty early, and find myself a place to camp out to where I can watch everybody as they come through, because you'll see more than the county.
Right.
You'll see not just county folks. You'll see folks from all around in the area, and that's a great day to spend that Friday there on the fair.
I was very, very impressed with the fair board, and they saw a need there that these large animals, the cattle and even the hogs, need to be out of the way, and they need to be still when the kids. We were having cattle show when kids were coming through the barn.
Right.
I mean, it got it got pretty difficult. So that's the reason the cattle and swine shows are on Thursday. They used to be on Friday because the biggest draw is the cattle. Is the cattle show. There's a lot of people there, but cattle show and swine are on Thursday for that reason, because the kids come through on Friday, and goats and sheep moving around are not as dangerous.
You could do that when the Smith boys
three-head.
two-thirds of the fair there. But you can't do that when you got 200 animals in that little bit of area there that are working. And it's just that you've learned some things as you've grown. You've had what we call delightful dilemmas, and you've been able to. It's delightful to grow, but there are dilemmas that come with that and problems to solve. And I'm sure there'll be some of those things going on all the time. But that's what makes it so good. Like I say, it's not a Hollywood production. I would go to some of those fairs on the outskirts of Chicago, in some of the smaller towns and in the counties that were around in that, and it was like, I mean, they had it choreographed, and it was, and it took the real feel away from the fair.
Right. Well, you were talking about volunteers earlier, and it's not that during fair they don't need help. It's not that they don't need help. It's just that get involved with the fair board, you'll realize what a machine this thing is.
Exactly.
And once it starts, we've got to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so everything's planned ahead. And by this point, every step is there. And so during Fair Week, it's going to happen all the way through. And if you get involved in the fair board earlier in the year, you'll find where your cog fits in the machine.
Try to talk to one of these two during a day of the fair. And it's impossible.
No, unless Don comes up to you and buttonholes you.
Right. Yeah. It's not that they're avoiding you.
No.
It's just they are that busy in their schedule.
You've got facilities and food and volunteers and animals and kids.
Sabrina, we're going to pick on her. Find Sabrina. Find Sabrina.
Yeah, that's what I tell them.
Exactly. Well, folks, we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, we were having a good time during the
Rick hits those microphones and we're in mid-sentence.
It's hard to come back in and remember your segue sometimes from where we're coming back into this segment. But I noticed that there is a rodeo that's going on, the Flint Rock Saddle Club, which is another entity completely. They put on the rodeo that happens then on Friday night and also on Saturday night, I believe at 8 p.m. town. But there is so much to do, so much to see, so much to be a part of. And if you've never been to the Searcy County Fair and you live in Boone County and you guys think you got a good one, and you do have a great one up there. You guys do a wonderful job. But you'll be very impressed when you come and see the work that's happened in this little county of 8,200 folks. Which they've got a town that's got more than about double that anymore right around their little area. But 8,200 folks and what they put on here and what this group of individuals that work at this and I got to tell you a snafu that happened why they were looking at each other so strange is when I said, what can we find for volunteers now? And they said, well, sign up for next year. Because that's how this thing works, and that's how much planning they've done and put together for this year. It's not just an off-the-cuff event.
No, I mean, we've already planning for next year. We've done met with a guy, and we're going to have a circus coming next year. Yeah, April 2nd.
We have a circus here every Saturday morning.
Every break is a circus.
It's not a carnival; it's a circus.
Oh, wonderful!
So wonderful.
That's going to be in April, though, right?
April 2nd.
Like with the big top and
big top animals.
So it's not like a carnival coming in.
I'm gonna have to get in shape to do my trapeze act.
Is it 2 nights?
Tommy, we're going to do the flying.
We'll be flying, all right.
Flying Walenzas.
The flying. What is that?
We're going to sell tickets to watch him get into his leotard.
You'd have to. Don, do they still have a tire tool? Because I'd have to have a tire tool to get me in a pair of leotards.
But ain't it 2 nights?
You would look good.
It would be a sight to see.
Yes,
it would.
Ball head and all.
Exactly. Well, if they were tight enough, it might push that hair up. Cover that spot.
Welcome to intermission.
Exactly. Now this
we forgot the mics were on, right?
Oh yeah, we got a show. But the fair folks do get involved and come this year and be a part. And how much does it cost to get in, Don?
Free.
Oh,
best entertainment.
What?
Free.
Can you believe that?
Come to our premium sale, guys. I mean, that's important. That's the important day for these kids.
Yes.
And
the premium
the
sale.
day on that is Saturday.
Saturday morning. You know,
we have a 9 a.m. poultry show or poultry sale.
That's an auction.
Auction for, and all the proceeds go to 4-H. Now, last year was our biggest year, almost $2,700.
Yeah, excellent.
So be sure and come to that, and you get to take those chickens home.
Great chickens. We've had some for 3 years.
I know.
They're laying good every day.
When I was
good chickens.
When I had chickens, that's where I got mine all the time because they're tame. They've been taken care of, most of them by the kids, and you'll know some of the kids that raised them.
Come to our sale. You don't buy an animal, donate to the jackpot.
Exactly.
Help these kids out. That's what it's all about.
All right. We'll be back with the last segment in just a moment. That's good fair music right there. I wanted to
I was
there for
fixing
just
to
a minute.
break out into a jam or
you
something.
betcha. That's good. Now in Louisiana, they don't do a jig dance, do they?
No. A jig is something we fish with.
Just checking.
Oh my God.
That's a weird bunch down there. Anyway.
That's the reason they keep leaving.
You know what I'm saying? I know. Every hurricane blows another one up here.
But you notice the minute we start talking about food, we refer to most of that Cajun cuisine.
Yeah, well.
Louisiana refugees.
You do have something going that's all right, I reckon. So that's a good thing. I've got Wayne sitting here looking at the clock.
The Guardian has showed up.
Going absolutely crazy. So now he's happy.
Room goes
now he's happy. Yeah, because because wah 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 Wayne.
If you get a thumbs up from Wayne, you know everything's going
okay.
good.
If you
Everything's
take the red pill, you wind up out of the matrix. Wayne will be there. You watch. He's offering you the 2 pills. Come into reality, guys.
I don't know,
What was
Don.
this show
Don,
about?
that one went right over my head.
What was this show about?
Matrix and Fair. No, that just went right over my head. I think we got a little bit carried away there. But Don, again, I want to take the moment here just to, you all can't see him blush, but I'm gonna make him blush a little bit. And thank you so much for what all you have done, what all you're doing, and we're gonna keep you doing it as long as we can, because you have done such a fantastic job in leadership and working with folks and watching them react with the dream that he had of the share kitchen.
Right.
And this has not been easy. This has been a tough thing. The bigger the grant, the more you work for it.
Right,
You earn that
right,
money, don't
right.
you, Don?
You bet.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have done it without good help.
Yeah.
And the support of the community that's helped with the money raising.
Yes.
And I'd like to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for what they've done for the Searcy County Fair.
Well, it's easy to give money to something when we see that the leadership and the volunteers and the board are working at
Right.
it, and we actually see where that money's going. And friends, that's another thing. You don't have to have an animal in the fair to donate.
Yep.
You can donate to this cause because it is not a profit organization.
Well, you're not donating or giving. You are actually
Exactly.
investing in the community.
Exactly.
In the county. This is what this is all about, the county.
Exactly.
Where we live.
And come to that livestock auction, come to that premium sale.
Right.
Bid things up, because all of that is an investment in our future.
That's right, exactly.
Absolutely. Well, friends, it's been wonderful to be back in studio and to be live again. Next week, I've got a fella coming in, a young man that has graduated from the College of the Ozarks recently, Jacob Granado.
Aha.
And he's
Wow.
going to be a
Yeah.
guest here.
Wow.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to.
And I think I've
to
had
hearing
all
him.
the Granado boys
Yeah.
at one time or another
They
in a
probably-
class or as an athlete.
They may end up standing around in here with us, because Isaac goes there now. I'm
Yes.
hoping Isaac will come,
Yes.
and I'm going to ask for another guest that I have that is in the interest field of what Jacob studied while he was there.
Gotcha.
And so
Quality
and he-
kids there.
and he is wanting to know more about this cooperative thing. He's
bet.
really wanting to get involved in that, and so
bet.
Skip, so be ready to.
Well, because if you go to CMO, I mean, that is their big push.
Right.
They have their huge
And this
kitchen
dude has
that they grow food
graduated,
for.
and he has graduated with honors from there, and is looking to use that education.
Well, the co-op has a potential to hire someone. I mean, that's not in the works right now, but it's going to need to be managed. So,
And so that's when I was hoping
We-
to kind
we
of
want
plug him in.
locals to have jobs.
Exactly.
I mean, we
he's
do.
a fine young man, and we're just so very, very proud of him. He's worked so very hard, and we want to see him get off to a
good
good
guys.
start.
Definitely want to mention real quick
Okay.
the books.
Yes, the books.
Look for the
mentioned-
bright neon colors.
Neon
Blue,
colors.
green, what else? Don?
Red, yellow.
red.
Red,
Okay.
Yeah, just
And it
different
says, "Welcome to the
colors,
Searcy County Fair" on
And
the front.
they can pick these up. What locations?
Businesses in town, extension office.
Extension office has a bunch of
They
them.
grab it, open up the front cover, and there's the schedule.
Exactly.
Schedule, right.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
the
All the
advertisers.
sponsors, thank you.
Thank you.
All of you. And God bless every one of you. And let's all meet at the fair on September the 3rd through the 7th.
Bet.
We're going to have a time.